Just to get started, first of all, I want to thank you for coming to Something Wicked Film Festival and letting us screen your film. Um, and what I want you each to do first is to tell us who you are, what you did on the film, and of course, what your film is.
I guess I'll go first. I'm Jacqueline Hillebrecht. I am the writer, director, editor, and actor, one of them, in in Loose Threads and the Silly Little Exorcism. I can never get all those words out. The title of the film is too many words. I always fumble over some of them.
Hi, I'm Mimi Brown. I played Katie, Emma's love interest in Loose Threads, and yeah, that's it.
That's okay. Because the one of the first things I wanted you to do is tell me, Jacqueline, a little bit about the film, but don't give away too much because I still want the audience to be able to watch and enjoy the film if they have not seen it before watching the cinema.
Right. So there's this ancient legend about the red thread of fate, which I'm talking about real life, by the way, or a myth in our world, about like a red string that connects soulmates, and this film takes place in a world where that literally happens, and in this specific story we have our characters Emma and Katie, and they clearly like each other but aren't saying it, and then they start messing around with this magical artifact while they're hanging out together, and things go south from there.
Go south. Okay. All right. So tell me, what was your inspiration for this film? Now, this one has a lot of comedy in it, so tell me a little bit about the inspiration for this film. And either one of you can answer that based on the fact that you wrote, produced, directed, edited all of it, and of course, you, Mimi, who starred in it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have the most to say about this, but please, Mimi, feel free to contribute anything that may come to mind. But in terms of my inspiration, I think the main thing was like last year I was just thinking to myself about like, man, what if I did like a short film about just that tension that you feel when you want to be like, I like you, or you want to kiss someone or something, and like you kind of know it, but then you're too scared to say it, but like you kind of know, and that sort of dynamic. I was like, oh, that'd be really fun to like explore in a short film. And this world with like the red thread of fate was something that I already explored in. This is kind of an installment in a larger series, although it's definitely stands on its own. So I was like, oh, it's kind of a very natural fit. I also started transitioning around the time that I wrote the script, so I was like, let's make it gay too. Let's just so those are kind of all the elements that came together.
Okay. So that being said, I have to ask, because you've already said you have trouble saying your whole title. What made you choose that title over something that could have been smaller or easier to say?
I really like the word silly. That's kind of the main thing. I mean, I had the loose threads that had to be there for like the brand recognition with like the other like installments in the series, but I was just like, yeah, let's. I think I forget exactly how it went down, but I was just like, I almost like did it on a dare, or not literally, but like it was like someone like said at some point something to the effect of like, wow, we should put silly in the title of one of your films, because I just love that word. It's such a fun word to say. So that's how we have such a. But it's always the silly. That's where I always stumble when I say the title out loud. I had a speech impediment I don't anymore, but I did like as a kid. I think it comes out when I try to say that title.
Okay. So Mimi, how did you get involved into this film?
Well, I got a text from Jacqueline one night saying, I have this script. I want you to read it. and I think you'd be great for it. And I read it and immediately it was adorable. Like it was very cute. And I was like, I need to be a part of this. And so I don't actually remember the turnaround time for this, but it was pretty soon after that we just, sat down one night and filmed. And it was a really great experience. And I'm so glad that I got to work with Jacqueline again. We met working on a play earlier on in the semester, and it was great to be able to work with you again. So I'm glad I got that opportunity.
I'll butt in and just add the little, as I remember the turnaround time, it was like a week, because I'm the kind of person, like once I'm like happy with a script, or I'm like, yes, this is done, this is like ready to shoot, I want to shoot it like immediately, and I'll block it all out like overnight or something if I have to, but it's like I want to take the first opportunity I can, like while I have that enthusiasm. So yes, it was like, just to build on that, it was a very short turnaround time.
Well, how long did it take you to shoot the whole thing then?
We shot it in a night.
Okay.
I wanted to let you answer that one because it was a very long night. It was a longer night than I had initially promised. And what I felt extra bad about is that, like, I said, yeah, we'll finish around like midnight, and then it was like 2:30 in the morning that we actually finished. And then it was also like 20 degrees outside, like colder. We're in Boston, or we were then. So it was just like, it was frigid. And there's only like 2 or 3 shots that take place outside. We did those last, and I was like, guys, it's 2:30. I'm so sorry. We just need to go outside for like 15 minutes and just grab these like insert shots.
Oh my God. Okay, so if you shot till 2 a.m. in the morning, so was this like a very long shoot, like a 14-hour plus shoot, or was it like you just started at night and started shooting until like early the next day?
We started in maybe the evening. You started setting up way before I got there, though.
Yeah, I got up at like 10 in the morning and then just immediately started, because I basically had to, or actually, technically speaking, like my room was like a disaster. It was such a mess. So I first had to like days in advance. Like once I okay, I knew on Friday, okay, we're filming, and then like immediately I had to start setting up and like cleaning my room, getting everything ready to go. So yeah, I was like doing stuff all day, but I don't remember exactly when we actually started filming, but it was still like really long, but it was not like, it wasn't 14 hours. I didn't do anything like illegal in terms of like the amount of time we all worked. It was like, we started like after dinner time probably. So something like that. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you both kind of met in the theater aspect, or at your school. So how much did that play into making this film? Because I don't remember last time we talked that you mentioned anything about theater at all.
That's because, well, I've been like acting in theater all my life, but I ended up getting very involved in like the school community theater because they asked me to, because they really needed not the one Mimi was in, but there was another play the previous semester where like their director quit, and it was like a Justice League situation where they kind of just like strong-armed me into being like, come like finish this way, and then I had enough goodwill to like actually direct something that I like wrote and was like very passionate about.
Okay. So, are you still a student, or because
when I'm going to be a senior. Yeah.
Okay, so you're still a student. So it was this just a project for your one of your projects for school, or is it just something you did on the outside of school?
Technically, it was not for school. However, officially, we are saying that for some there are some circumstances in which I am required to say that. So think of that what you will.
Well, I only asked because when I was a student in school, I did more projects for other people, and I never got around to finishing my own damn projects.
Yeah,
I lucked out.
No. I definitely like, and so yeah, like it definitely. I'm the same way, where it's like pretty much everything I make. I've only made like one really good short film like that I like directed like for school, and I'm going to be a senior. But yeah, I also just wanted to clarify in case there are any of the other film festivals that are watching. I I would never, if like, because student discounts are so interesting, because like if it like specifically says like a student film that was made for class credit, then no, I'm not going to like lie about it there. But if it's like really vague, like it was here,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like interpret that however I choose to, because it didn't specify that. So that's why I worded it in that way. There's nothing like I'm not committing like tax fraud or something.
Well, I'll clarify too. As long as you're an amateur student filmmaker, it doesn't matter what age you are, because I was still making student films after I graduated. So as long as it's that, I'm not really worried about it.
And I think the vast majority of festivals that I use the student discount or the student category for are like that. But then there are a few that like specifically say like in like all caps, like must be made like for like course credit. And then I'm like, okay. Because like, I don't know. I'm not gonna like, I wouldn't feel bad, especially if I like won an award or something. I would just feel so guilty if I like cheated the rules a little bit with that.
So getting a little bit more into the film itself, Mimi, what is one of your favorite things about doing this film?
I think I loved that the character was so much like myself.
Okay.
Which I don't, Jacqueline, you wrote it. I don't know that you were like, this is how Mimi is, but I think reading the script, I was like, I would say these things, and I would be this, awkward, trying to profess that I had feelings for someone, kind of without giving too much away. But I really love how the film kind of it's a commentary kind of on where the line is between like platonic soulmates and, love interests. And that's something that I kind of think about a lot in my life, is like, this person can be my soulmate and not necessarily be someone that I'm interested in that way. And I think that like having good female friendships is really, really important. And I think that this was a really great film just about that, and about, what it means to have a good female friendship, and, what it means to be female in general. And it was, just a really beautiful commentary on that. And I love the film. It's great. Like, go watch it. Like,
no, that's good, because the thing about your film is that when people are watching this interview and watching your film, sometimes they may miss some of the commentary that you as filmmakers are trying to put into the film. And I'm hoping that if they've seen the film once, but then they watch this will give them the drive to watch it again, to see it from the way that you decided to make it. And for those who had no interest in seeing it until now, they watch the interview and they say, well, you know what? I'm interested in seeing how these filmmakers decide to develop the story. Let me go find this film.
Yeah, no, that's why I love doing interviews.
So for some of the people who don't know either one of you, what is each of your background in film? Because I don't know, Jacqueline, you're since I now know a little bit more that you're actually going to school for film, but I don't know, just tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to get to where you are now.
Sure, yeah. So I've been making films since I was 10. I'm 21 now. I just reached, because I've been waiting for like the day where there's like a day in June where I can officially say I've been a filmmaker for more of my life than not now, which was pretty cool. So I started, making stop motions a lot of the time, and a lot of them had like, Star Wars characters or Harry Potter characters or something. And those like, I think really, some of them like really, really blew up, and like I had like a little kind of mini cult following for a while, and then I went to college and was like, I just want to make weird artsy gay stuff that doesn't have Star Wars characters in it, and then people kind of turned on me, which I kind of expected. But not to too much of a tangent, this film in particular, like I've kind of been seeing like, more of an increasingly like negative reception among my like followers as I've like veered further and further away from Star Wars. But when you just combine that with like the way people are to like trans people on the internet in general, there was quite the backlash when I released this film. It got really ugly.
Oh wow.
I was getting really like just every day, like for the first couple of weeks after it came out, I was getting like, messages and comments with like slurs, because the video is like almost 3,000 views. That's a lot of people that saw it on YouTube. So people were writing like reviews on Letterboxd, and like someone like people like on like it was crazy. And I think like somebody shared it, and this ended up really helping me in the long run. Where like somebody I think there's this forum that I found that I think is specifically, it's a really infamous, like, I don't know the terminology exactly, but it's like a forum where people like basically gang up to like harass people that they think are stupid, I guess. It's really frightening. I didn't know that this forum existed, but it's like really big. And somebody like shared it there, and it got like, and then I woke up with like 500 new views overnight, and I was like, what happened? And then when I did some digging, I found this forum, and like it did bring a lot of like backlash and hate, just the most heinous things I've ever heard. But then because it already had that traction, then people kind of organically found it, people who I think liked it more.
Well, that's good to hear. Although all of us have something wicked, like different things than the mainstream audiences. So your films will fit right in line with the stuff that we all watch here. So
that's good.
We don't like conventional stories. We don't like conventional films. We like the stuff that's a little bit on the edgier side, the fringe side, the stuff for all of us people out there who don't conform to the norm.
No. I guess oh, sorry. I guess
go ahead.
My background in film, I'm a film student now, but I wasn't planning to do that. That was kind of just I've been an actor for only about 4 or 5 years, and I was going to go to college for it. And I decided that, you know, if I get into Boston University, I will study film, because it's always been something that I've wanted to kind of veer into, as opposed to the theater side of it. And I've never really gotten the chance to until actually senior year of high school was really bad, COVID, everything. And we actually, a couple of us, actually it was a big group of people, all made this kind of very collaborative play, but it was filmed and it was like a play, but I don't know, it wasn't totally a movie. But I was like, I really like this, like being able to kind of do everything. And I like that in film you can do everything. So I am studying film now, and I've been acting for a couple years, but I can totally see myself acting all the way through college. Yeah.
Good.
Acting, yes. But what, now that you got the filmmaking buzz, what other type of roles would you like to fill in the film world? Other than, you know, are you going to be a writer, producer, director, editor? Are you going to be like Jacqueline and just do everything?
Well, my big dream is I want to write for Saturday Night Live. Like, I want to write comedy. That's my like big overarching. I have to do that. I have to make it to New York. I'm going to be writing for SNL someday.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of want to explore everything, because I've always been a person who doesn't really know what I like. So I've played all types of roles in all types of shows, and I kind of want to explore that in film too, like writing different genres. Yeah, I don't know. I want to do everything. We'll see.
I think that's a lot. That's how a lot of us start out when we go to film school, because I went to film school too, and I was like, oh man, I want to be a writer. I want to be a director. You know what? I might as well produce too. You know what? Let me just do everything. What the hell? I just won't compose.
I can't compose. This is not happening.
That is also like one of the few things I cannot do on a film set.
Oh my God, yes, that is so true for all of us. So what are some of the challenges that each of you faced on the making of this film?
Okay, I can go. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly the biggest challenge was probably just like the transphobes coming after me once I released it. You know, that was really scary for a while. But also, like, again, it was kind of cool in retrospect, just because of how many people ended up seeing it compared to like other, you know, my more recent stuff. I think the biggest challenge was just that the lack of crew. We had one cinematographer, and he was the kind of like, the two of us kind of wore all the hats in terms, and I wanted to have like a designated like sound person to like follow us and things. And I just like, I guess I just assume that, because I've heard so many people say like, yeah, let me know when you're doing something, I'd love to help. And then I think I just like, it was like it was a holiday weekend. I think it was like President's Day or something that
I
we
totally
shot.
forgot about that.
So then like everyone was going out of town that I like was like banking on helping me, and since I was just like I was in a frenzy, so I think that was the biggest thing. Yeah, that's I'll let you. I'm sure you have other challenges. I made you memorize this thing in a week. So.
Yeah, I guess I had two two bigger things. The first is really weird. I was like rushing sororities that week. And so I I remember Jacqueline sends me the script and it's like, I want to film this day. And I was like, okay, but like I have to be done talking to all of the sororities and then I can come over and film. That's a very weird thing that I was doing that week. But I just remember like I was doing both of those things at the same time. And I had to be like, all right, turn this mode off and go make this film. My other thing is I've always just historically for myself had a hard time playing the bad guy, just in anything. And I know that Jacqueline's kind of seen this, from me before because we've worked together before, but I have a hard time like being mean while I'm acting. Like I feel really terrible about it, especially, like yelling at people or like, dead naming people. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in this film that come from me that I'm like, I don't like seeing myself in this light. And so that I think that was really hard, but I enjoyed being part of telling this story. So I'm able to look back at it and be like, this is me acting. This is not me, and yeah.
No, that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to someone who actually was acting in the film. I don't get to talk to some of the actors sometimes, and your perspective on the making of the film is going to be different than the actual filmmaker or the writer, producer, director themselves, who is the person I normally always get to interview. So it's always interesting to hear, the different challenges and different your perspective on the making of a short film. I'm assuming because it's a student film and you shot it all in one day that it was a very low budget film, so that was one of the reasons why you were trying to get so much done in such a short amount of time.
Yes, no, I don't. I'm sure I'm like usually I've never had like a budget that I like get from like crowdfunding or anything. It's always like I'm sure I definitely paid for some like things like out of pocket probably. The main that's something, I mean, this was only like a couple of bucks to go do this, but just something mildly amusing about the production of this film is all the pictures that you see on the wall. Because I realized like I had like nothing on my wall because my freshman year I had all this stuff on my wall, and then COVID happened, and then I was like separated from it. So I was like, I don't want to like bring anything like any like pictures that are like important to me like to school, so my wall was just empty. So I was like, I need to fill it with things. So I asked Mimi, can you just like send me a bunch of pictures of yourself? And I am also going to I printed like a couple of bucks worth of like colored pictures probably. And that was because like I had to walk to the business school on our campus, and it was just such a weird set of circumstances.
Oh my.
And it's just yeah.
So when did you shoot? Did you shoot this during the last 2 years when the whole COVID thing, or the post-COVID, like within last year? So when did you shoot the movie?
It was President's Day weekend. It was in February.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I definitely it was a very quick turnaround, and also just upload to YouTube, because normally I was I'll obviously withhold like a release for festivals, but I was just I was really excited. It was my birthday. It was also the day I came out publicly. I was like, let's go free. What if we release the film? And then I looked at all the film festivals I'd submitted to, and none of them had a premiere status that they rule that they mentioned. So I was like, there's nothing stopping me from releasing it today. So that I put it on YouTube. All this all happened in 2 weeks, from script writing to release. Is crazy.
So let me ask you: is that because I've never asked any of the people I've interviewed this before? is it a deterrent for you to submit your film if it requires it to be some type of premiere status? I mean, I've always just said I don't care where if your film's been premiered before. I don't even really care how old the movie is. I'm just glad you're still showing films at film festivals. But what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think it depends because I think like sometimes it can be like rewarding to like with I just finished another short film,
Okay.
and that I do intend to like do some kind of a festival run before I put it like on YouTube. But like I think what I've learned and what I kind of like, I guess mistake that I made with Rise of the Dead last year was that I'd have some festivals that did have like some kind of requirement, but like I didn't like take the actual like I didn't take like the actual like festival dates into consideration. So like it's only a deterrent if like for example, say like when I was shopping for film festivals for the current short film that I was working on, there was times where I'd be like, oh, this is a cool festival, but it's like there's like it can't be online rule and it's not till November and I want to release before November. But if it's like if it just happens to be like within because I generally like I want to like finish a film, premiere it, send it to the festivals like right away, you know?
Yeah.
So like if as long as it's like within a convenient like time span, then I love having like a special premiere for things. It's like really exciting. But yeah, sometimes it can be like annoying if it's like the festival's like a year away and I like want to send my film there, but they have like a, you know, don't have it be online rule.
No, that's interesting because I always ask myself that same question as a filmmaker. I haven't released anything online directly unless it was like one of the fan films I worked on because I don't care about the premiere status, but I don't put them online. So sometimes they'll be traveling for film festivals. So like I kind of stop them after 3 years. 3 years is like my deadline. After 3 years, I'm done sending my films to a freaking film festival. It's gotten into enough. I'm done. I'm just going to throw it online afterwards. But talking to you, I can figure out, I'm getting an idea of what filmmakers are thinking about because some of the films that are submitted to us are definitely already online. And I don't know if the reason they're sending it to me is because they don't mind it already being online where 100,000 other people can watch it and they just want to send their money to me to put it in the film festival, or if they just want it to have that accolade of having been shown in a film festival. So these are some of the things I think about because I've been doing the film festivals for 10 years now, and every filmmaker kind of has a different perspective on their distribution channel for their short film. I do know some people who just make a film and their ideal is just to put it online. And so secondary is actually, sending it to film festivals. And then there's the other filmmakers who twist that and do it the other way. Film festivals come first, online comes second. And I can't remember if Rise of the Dead was online first.
It was not at that point, and that was one of the first films where I like actually withheld it. But I think I withheld it like it was like by the time I ended up just being like, oh my god, like I just want like people, I just want to have it online, you know what I'm saying? Like I just run out of patience, and I'm like, it's like I think it's good to wait like a little bit, but like not too long, and that's the thing. And really like what film festivals kind of this point in my career, they're kind of just like a resume builder, where it's just like if I have like, everyone that's and I'm applying for internships right now, it's like everyone has like student films they've made, but like what sets them apart is like, oh cool, it's like, it has like these accolades that you can like list, and I list like, a couple of like the most significant film festivals that a particular film gets into, and it's just a little thing on my resume, and I feel like it, adds me some amount of credibility because that's kind of all I can do right now. I can like at one point I could be like, yeah, this got like 300,000 views, but that's when I was making Star Wars fan films, and that doesn't happen anymore. When I'm like stuff like this, it's not got 300,000 views.
That's okay. I haven't had anything that's gotten 300,000 views either. But then again, I am the guy who runs a film festival, makes fan films, and occasionally have time to make a film once every 3 or 4 years when I'm not doing the film festival thing. Mm-hmm. That's another reason why I like to talk to you filmmakers. Like I kind of live filmmaker through you because I get to watch all the different things that you guys are producing, and every year it's something different. Like you said, last time it was Rise of the Dead. This time it's Loose something in the Silly Exorcism. I can't remember.
Yeah, those most of the words. Loose threads in the Silly Little Exorcism.
Loose threads in the Silly Exorcism. But I will tell you this about the title. Even though it's long, it's catchy in the fact that your film will not be easily forgotten because of the title.
And that's the thing that that's what everybody, whenever somebody gives me a positive comment about the film, either verbally or online or whatever, they always mention the same two things. I love the title and I love the Hot Topic line. Those are the two compliments that I always get. And it's cool, it's nice. And it is it's especially it's the same thing that I hear every single time. And it's kind of cool though that it's the same things that people like.
So this brings me up to something new. Is what are you two working on right now? What can I hope to possibly see coming up? Are you going to be working on more comedies? Another comedy horror, comedy fantasy? What's coming up?
Right. So I have a short film that I briefly mentioned that's premiering at the Brightside Film Festival in Jersey City. I'm from New Jersey, so I can actually go to this one. Is conveniently, it's very close. So I was cool. We love that. Don't get me wrong, going to Something Wicked last year, one of the best weekends of my life, hands down. Also cost $1,000 with the whole trip in total. So it is kind of nice to just drive down there, for an afternoon. But yeah, and so that's that film is premiering there, and then I'll do an online release in the next couple of weeks, months. I don't know. I have to hear back from the rest of the festivals that some of which do have a premiere status thing, and that's the thing. It's people ask me when is this coming out? I'll be either mid-August or November, depending on which festivals I get into. And it is about it's not unlike this one since it's about being transgender, but it's just this insane comedy about God, I don't even know how to give a synopsis, but it's about a vagina that can walk and talk. It's stop motion.
Okay, that's what I'm about to ask.
How you do this? Yeah.
Here, wait. I have her on my desk. And yeah, and it's just again, it's just there's so much I don't want to give away there, but it's just it's basically just just my personal experience with that part of my identity and kind of dealing with womanhood and all of these things. And it's just there's certain experiences that I've had that I just wanted to address I feel as a connoisseur of queer cinema, there's some things I don't see being talked about, and this film talks about them, so look out for that.
Okay, well, I'm stop motion, we don't get a lot of that, so I'm actually excited about any type of stop motion. I'm a huge fan of stop motion. And some of the best animators from the back of the day did stop motion with their artwork, and it's avant-garde, a little crazy, but it's always visually different and compelling. Stop motion allows you to do that because you don't have those aesthetics of trying to be the next Pixar, and it doesn't be this 3D $250 million film where everything's photorealistic. You can be artistic, and more power to you. I mean, I don't hear about many people doing stop motion anymore, so that's an added bonus in your field for that.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I can't draw. I don't know how to I could never be a cartoonist, but I can definitely just move this pipe cleaner arm for 7 hours.
Okay.
Needed.
And what about you, Mimi?
I don't have any films coming out or anything right now. I have been doing a lot of writing, which I guess is in my umbrella of things I'm studying. So I guess there could be a poetry book that comes from me in the next couple years. Okay. So I guess that would be the next big thing to look out for.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you're going to write this poetry book and you're going to get with Jacqueline to do this avant-garde stop motion
film about it. Yeah.
Animated world building extravaganza. And in about 2 years, I'm going to see this as y'all's big feature-length film so that we can have it for our film festival.
Yeah.
I'm taking credit regardless because the play that we did, I cast Mimi as this like poet character. So I feel like I'm choosing to believe that these are like somehow related in my head.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So, I completely lost the train of thought there. You're making me laugh. But I do want to know if there is something each of you would like audience members to take away from your film as they're watching it. I always ask this to filmmakers because you all are making a film in which you have a point, a story that you want audiences to get. What is something that you would like them to come away with after watching your film?
I'm gonna give a real answer, and I'm also gonna give an Easter egg because I've been waiting to find like some way to like mention that this whole time. Where it's not even really it's not even really an Easter egg. It's just like a weird coincidence, I guess, where, you know, when I was like printing out pictures, to hang on my wall to like decorate this dorm. And again, like I didn't have in mind that I would be like sitting here doing an interview with Something Wicked after a year, but a picture that I took at Something Wicked last year is like one of the like 30 pictures that's up there. So that is in there. I don't know if you talked to Alexander Largo last year, or you met him. He was there, and we kind of hit it off during the festival, and we've stayed friends like the whole year. We text every day. It's like really cool. And we took a picture at the end of the festival, and I just wanted like pictures like with my friends just to like make it look organic. So it's like that is one of the pictures that we took at Something Wicked is one of the pictures up there. So that's something mildly cool that people at the festival could look out for. Because it's very visible actually, like once it's like in the frame. But
no, I'll be looking for it now. Next time I watch it, because that's one of the great things I like to hear. Like two filmmakers from completely different places, states, wherever both of you guys were originally from, come together at the event, make a connection, and then you walk away becoming friends or collaborators or what have you. So that's great to hear. I like to hear stories of that to happen. So
yeah, and then the other, I guess the actual takeaway is I guess just that I definitely wanted to deal with like trans specific issues here and issues of womanhood, but I feel like there's a more universal theme as well, which is I think just there's a quote from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I think that's what it's from, where Paul Rudd says like, we accept the love we think we deserve. And I feel like that's not saying it's the same theme as Perks of Being a Wallflower, but that quote I feel like really I think succinctly describes what I'm getting at here, where it's like, be brave enough to believe in yourself enough and believe that you're like worthy of love, and you'll find love only when you think that you're enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, it's gonna be hard to follow that. That was really great. But I think something that I kind of learned, like as a straight female cis actress, I kind of was going into this like I'm learning a lot from you, especially as you're going through this journey. And I think that you bring up a lot of really important things in this film. And I think that it was a really, great experience for me to hear your stories and hear, why these things are happening. And I think that especially some of the commenters, I went back and I was trying not to read comments, but I went back and read them right before I, signed on here. I think some of the commenters were like kind of questioning why certain things were in the film. And I don't want to give things away, but it was obvious that they're not familiar with the issues that you go through every day. And I think that it kind of needs to be followed up with like, if people want to know more, they should research more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was a really great experience for me to, learn about what it's like to be a trans woman, because I obviously have no idea. So I think that you're kind of giving people a great, jumping off point, I guess, for finding out, what it's like to live your life. And I think that that's really, really important. And I don't know, you're kind of giving people a window into your life. And that's really great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll add to that, because one of the great things about film is that it allows you an artistic medium by which to be able to do your type of stories like that. And they are stories that are, unfortunately, the mainstream is not doing. So indie filmmakers and indie film festivals are the only ways in which a lot of people like you are able to address these types of issues and bring them to a bigger audience. And our audiences are the ones who actually like these type of films, because we like independent films and we like things that are different than the mainstream. So I want you to continue making stories that appeal to you, and hopefully it will open up a conversation with people who just don't understand or don't know enough about it. And hopefully those people will also go out there and find more about it, because that's the only way that we can get through these issues that people have that make us different from one another. We're not all that different. So we just all need to come together and be able to have a conversation in which all of us are able to understand each other. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And that's, yeah. Although I would say that, like, sometimes, like, especially because, like, there's definitely, like, I'm always, like, open to, like, educating people and, like, having those difficult conversations. But, like, some of these people in the comments, I was just like, I usually respond. I try to respond to every comment I get, but, like, the majority of comments that I got on this film, I didn't have anything to say to, because I just look at them like, oh my God.
Well, I commend you for taking in all those comments, because I could not even fathom how many comments you had and how they're affecting you. Hopefully they won't affect you at all in regards to your storytelling and your filmmaking. Just continue telling your stories the way you want to tell them, and then you'll find an audience. They'll find an audience.
I would say that it did, though, where, like, I think I made this next film even gayer, like, out of spite, because it's kind of like, I think it, like, more, like, obviously transphobia is, like, talked about here, but it's, like, really, I think, delved into, and I feel like on a like, it wasn't like it's not like a direct response to those comments, but on some subconscious level, I think it kind of was.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, I think it does impact. It's like, well, I'm just doubling down on what I was already doing.
Nice. All right. So it has been a pleasure talking with you two about your film, Loose Threads and the Silly Exorcism.
There's a little in there, but yeah, that'll get you the result in, like, IMDb. It's close enough.
Dang it, I'm gonna get it next time. You're gonna send me another film, and we're gonna have another conversation, and I'm gonna get it right the next time. All right. All right. So it's been a pleasure talking to you both. I wish you nothing but continued success with this film in the film festivals, and I look forward to your next film, because I'm sure it will be something that something Wicked will enjoy. So,
thank you. Yeah, I almost sent it to Something Wicked, but I finished it, like, because I had a bunch of film festivals like that. I finished this next film in June, and I, like, just missed the Something Wicked deadline by, like, a couple of days. But maybe next year.
So keep in mind that because you continue sending us films, just email me.
Oh, I should have thought to do that. Because it was like a whole week later, so I was like, I can't ask now.
Because I give leeways for all the returning filmmakers.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Plus, I don't mind people who are watching this know that if you send your film to me, and we screen it, you can always send me an email saying, Kevin, what's the waiver code for this year? Can I get that? And I'll say, yeah, here it is. Because I'm always looking for what you are doing next and what you're working on, because I'm more than likely going to screen it, because I like to be able to talk to you filmmakers over and over again. So, so keep that in mind for your next film.
Yeah, I will. God, I remember. Yeah, there was a waiver code. I think I forgot to use it.
I always have one. I
think you do, and I think I realized. I think I realized too late. Yeah, that. I think I remember I had this moment before. I was like, there was a waiver code, wasn't there, that I could have used, but it's like I entered early and it was like it's a student category. So it was like fairly cheap to begin with, but
all right. Well, you guys have a great evening, and I, like I said, wish you nothing but luck with your next projects. Okay, and I'll see you hopefully next time.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm